Now to run the server for Minecraft in practice, you would need to get all the things you need, which terminal, Java version, we've got Java, and we actually need to get our server file from mcversions.net. We are going to be here using 1.19.2 and download the server.jar. Yes, I want to allow. So now it should be ready to load up. We gotta X out of Safari and now go to the terminal and left that in the background, and we just installed server.jar, this jar file. I'm going to store in documents, a new folder, Minecraft server, and we are going to get server.jar and move it to documents, and then from documents we're going to move it into the Minecraft server. Now we have Minecraft server and documents local. Now in here what we got to do is we got to type in cd and then a space, and then just like this, these boxes here, you can just put, like, drag the file or the folder that you put your file in into that, and it'll have the file path there, and we can run that. And now it is, that cd means change directory, and now it just changed the directory to finally access the specific file. And now to get this file, actually, like, to use it, we need to type Java space just jar, and then have the name of it, which is server, unless you've changed it, .jar, and then have no GUI. This is just so, like, the GUI doesn't load, because this is just the first time running the server. And enter that. Runs all of this data, and as you can see, it says go to EULA text. Now if we open the server, there's actually all this stuff here. And this is the EULA, End User License Agreement, and here it says we have not agreed to the terms. To agree, you can just highlight the text and replace it with true. And now that that's loaded, you can just type in the whole thing again, which it's still accessing that directory, and so it'll just be the java-jar server.jar, and we're actually just going to leave it like that. And if we start it up, it'll be running. This is the GUI that if you just add that extra -- no GUI, it'll leave that out. And it's done. And right now it's using 768 megabytes of RAM and an average tick of 1 millisecond. And we can just close that file. Don't close this or the thing if you have it, because that would terminate the process. And you have it running, of course. And so once that's done, you need to open your Minecraft. Now it is opening the application. Now the application is loading, the Minecraft launcher. They actually got this new animation going for the 1.21 update, I believe. I forget the name of it. I'm gonna run Optifine, but basically for this server client, basically if we look at how I've done this, you just create a new installation, name it whatever you want, and make sure it's the same version as the server file you installed. For me, that was 1.19.2, and subsequently it is 1.19.2 will run on the client. You can change your icon if you want, add a new one, that doesn't matter. And more options, you can like set the amount of RAM it'll take up the client. And now, you would just do new installation and add all that. Once you have it, this is just a tool I'm going to use to make it look fancy. But it's just the same version, 1.19.2. And if we click play on that, we can see it's loading. Full screen. Game mode. So I'm just going to do a direct connection, localhost, and it'll log me in. And boom, I'm in the world. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so this is Minecraft. This is not what it's going to look like, of course. I'm using a fancy version. But, yes, it's basically just the Minecraft game. Now, accessible on a server. But this only works on local connections. Typing in direct connection localhost just means you're connecting straight to the computer. Because, like, I'm playing the game on the same computer I'm running it on, which most of the time would be advised against, but here it's actually fine, because I guess the computer's really strong or something. So, this all works and all, but we're going to disconnect, because while that does work, it's not going to work for anyone who wants to join from a local connection. For a local connection, you need to create the server, enter the address, which is like the IP address, which I don't want to go through that. I'm too lazy, but you just enter the IP address of the computer in that. But that's for local connections, but what about just connecting from the internet? Now that, in fact, is through port forwarding, and port forwarding can be explained another time, but essentially you just like open up the version of like whatever website your router uses. Like there's usually an IP address for your router on the bottom of it or something, and you could just find that, enter it into a web browser as a URL, and go to wherever their port forwarding settings are, and from there you can just create one using the port like 25,555 through like 25,556. Those, like whatever the ports are for Java, I'm pretty sure that's it. And those are the ports. The starting port would be the first port, 25,555, and then you just save that, and it should work. I've actually not been able to get it working officially, but that's basically how you do it. It really just depends on internet. It's probably best to hook up a wired connection if you're going to be doing that online kind of thing. But yeah, that's how you would connect with that. And from remote locations, basically another Wi-Fi network, you would just do the same thing, plug in the IP, and it should connect over the internet. And that's basically how you do it. Running a Minecraft server. For more in-depth port forwarding and making it work online, again, just find something else, but just a base server, getting it running, this is how you do it. You terminate the process, that's how you can just quit it. And yeah, that's about all for this tutorial. Goodbye.
This has been a sponsored Orb Corp recording. Thank you for listening.